Good day, YouTube. This is just a bit of a fun comparison video between Ubuntu 20.04 on the left, latest release, and Linux Mint 20 on the right, now currently in beta, just to let you know about that one, but soon on the full release there. So let's get down to it and have a bit of a look. So straight away, you can see the most obvious difference here is the default desktop environment for each of them. Ubuntu on the left-hand side runs on the GNOME default desktop environment there, whereas we have the Cinnamon desktop environment on the right hand side, the built-in or designed by Linux Mint themselves. So it's pretty cool, pretty interesting one, fairly well received there as well. Now if we were to jump across a little bit to a few other parts of the visual interface, such as the file manager, we may start to see some similarities, I might say. So we've got files on the left and Nemo on the right. Much of a muchness in my humble opinion. It does everything that you want it to do, so nothing too out of the ordinary there. If we were to move on to some of the tech specs a little bit more so, we have that the kernels both running on the same kernel, which isn't a surprise for this release at least. Now, Linux Mint on the right is actually based on Ubuntu on the left, but they are both based on the Ubuntu 20.04 long-term service release, although you won't be able to necessarily see it in there, which does mean that you will have support for the next 5 years or so up to 2025 for both operating systems, which is really good. So install it once on a laptop, an old PC, whatever it may be, and it can stay the same for many years to come, which is good to see there too. If we were to have a look at some of the software, now you've got the same basic sort of software on both operating systems here. If we have a look at there's a few graphics apps, a few internet apps like the IRC and the browsers, Office apps there as well, LibreOffice for both, that kind of thing, but nothing to really write home about. Basically the same on the left and the right there. And then maybe a little bit lastly is to have a look at the how much RAM and CPU it uses. Now both are mostly idling on the CPU front there, but then we are actually running quite hot on the RAM for Ubuntu 20.04, about 800 megabytes of RAM straight off the bat or out of the box. This has just been opened from scratch, so it hasn't been open for too long. No real applications running in the background there either. And then we've got about 700 meg of RAM on the right hand side for Linux Mint, which is pretty interesting because it still is in beta mode, so it hasn't been fully optimized yet. So that's really interesting to see the final release and what happens there. But that's pretty much it, guys. Just a super simple, quick, fun video to give you a bit of a comparison between Linux Mint on the right and Ubuntu 20.04 on the left. Bit of fun, but thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and yeah, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.